Steve Coreno, KOR Sports, are here with the one and only Andre Rozier. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to see you too.
This Saturday, man, who do you got? Who are you working with, Ron?
Louis the Hammer Nunez.
Oh, okay. What can we expect from Nunez this Saturday?
Well, he's going to act like a carpenter and put some nails into place and build this house. But it's all about him putting pressure on his opponent and wearing him down. And that's what he's going to do on Saturday night.
Man, I just want to get your take on some big fights happening in boxing, man. But I kind of want to take it back a little bit. David Benavidez was in an incredible fight versus Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant showed a lot of heart in that fight. What was your takeaway from that fight?
Well, actually, the fight lived up to the hype. I was happy that it went to a decision because now you had two elite athletes in pugilistic prowess and fighting for all they had, and the best man won, but it was a fantastic war.
A lot of people are, kind of clamoring for David Benavidez versus Canelo next. I know Canelo has kind of other plans. He wants a rematch with Bivol, but
right.
Maybe after this year, once that dust settles with Bivol, how do you see a Benavidez-Canelo matchup going?
Well, I told a lot of people before that they might sleep on Canelo a bit, but Canelo is the truth. He's the truth, and as you can see, Caleb Plant wasn't that easy to knock out, but Canelo did it. I think if Canelo and Benavidez fought, it'd be one heck of a war, but I still have to go with experience, capability, articulation. It's all Canelo.
Man, the big one we got in a couple weeks here, Ryan versus Tank. I don't think I've spoken to you about it.
No, we haven't, but I'd love to talk to you about it right now.
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
I think that it's going to be typical Tank Davis. He's going to be hunting. He's going to be more careful because Ryan hasn't had a moment like this, so he might throw caution to the wind. But I think that it's eventually going to be the same scrap as usual. Tank is going to break Ryan down, and then he's going to have an awesome knockout.
So you see Tank finishing Ryan?
Oh, it's going to be a done deal.
With that in mind, right, if you're on Ryan's team kind of knowing what Tank does and downloads information first couple rounds and then kind of seek and destroys, what game plan should Ryan come in to try to combat what Tank does?
Well, first and foremost, I think Ryan should not try to engage punch for punch, power for power. I think he should try to utilize his height and his reach advantages, keep him at the end of it, control the action with his jab, and set those punches up. Not try to look and hunt and go toe-to-toe with one of the biggest punches in boxing.
The left hook is obviously, I feel like a lot of people see as Ryan's best punch. Tank seems to think that's maybe the only punch Ryan has. At least that's what he says, right? Knowing that from Ryan's side, but how do you disguise is it that you disguise the right hand? Do you just try to disguise the left hook? I don't know. What do you?
Well, you see, this is my only issue, and I love Ryan to death. Experience is key, and Ryan hasn't had the experience levels of a Tank Davis, and it's going to tell. It's going to show itself, and he hasn't been boxing. He hasn't been as consistently active as, say, a Tank Davis. That's going to tell. And when the action hits and it starts coming at you full throttle, you do one of two things. You accept it and you work with it, or you fold under it. And I think it's just going to be too much for him. He's going to fold under the pressure.
So no way it goes to decision, you don't think?
No, not even. The knockout ratio stands for itself. No way, it's not going to a decision.
That's very true. You're right. Tank's, they've only not knocked out two people.
Exactly. And me coming from a history of training young men who have punching power in excess of it, like my nephew Curtis Stevens here.
Hey, go see you, Curtis.
And Louis is a attrition fighter, but he can punch. Well, we're teaching them how the punch and make it correct, where it neutralizes his opponent a little bit faster than what he's been doing. So you're going to see more effectual knockouts from him coming in the future also.
He's opening up the card, right?
Yes, he's the first fight on television, Luis. And Matteo Nunez, the Hammer.
The Hammer, that's right.
That's right. We're coming like a hammer, like a sledgehammer. He's going to be knocking through the concrete walls, and he's going to be representing for his home country of the Dominican Republic, and he's going to be one of the better, if not one of the best, to come out of that country. And that's high praise, because you have some Dominican champions that were really, really good. Yeah. So you know, Guzman is, in my opinion, he was one of the, if not one of the best, in the top three. You have Cesar Green. He very, very special, but we're going to mold, and he's a young man, he's a baby, and we're going to mold and drive him right to a world title, and then eventually, if God wills it, he'll be undisputed, and we'll take him one step at a time after that.
I love what he said yesterday at the press conference. Like, I've heard that stuff before, and it didn't work out too well. I love it.
I mean, people can talk. He's a quiet soul. You don't ever see him really animated, but when you see them present information like, I'm going to knock you out, all right, you have to live by it. Come and get me.
Right, we're gonna have to see.
Show me. That's right. This is the show me event. Show me.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
Last one, Andre. I want to get your take on. I'm sure we've talked about this because we've been talking about this for years. Spence versus Crawford.
Yes.
I feel like you're like the rest of us boxing fans that are like, I'll believe it when I see it.
I was going to ask you that question. I'm hearing June 17th or something of that nature. But we've heard that before.
Said August 22nd, they supposed to announce it, no?
June 17th is the rumor right now.
No, April 20th, this couple weeks.
So supposedly they're going to announce it April 20th at Ryan's
on the tank card.
Okay, well, you know what? We're a couple weeks away from that one. Literally a couple of weeks. So let's see what happens. I've been waiting for that bout for a very long time. Two of the best welterweights on the planet right now facing each other. It will give us the guy, the undisputed at 147. I can't wait for it. I can't wait.
With all the factors, right? Spence hasn't fought. If it is in June,
right,
it would be at least over a year, I want to say, because Spence.
In that area, yeah, it's been a long time.
Right. So it'd be at least a year,
right,
or a year and a couple months. Terrence did just fight in November.
Right.
A lot of stuff's happened, right? Like Spence was in another car accident, just got hit out of the blue. He seemed okay.
Right.
But Terrence did get the tune-up fight. You know what I mean? In between, do those factors play into the fight itself?
My thing is, people don't understand that if you don't box, it does not help you. It's with anything else, practicing your craft, articulating your attacks. If you don't actually do it, how can you articulate it? It's very difficult. And I don't think that it helps being a world champion not being busy. You have to be busy. You can't fight once a year and think it's going to be that moment. Once again, going back to Canelo, he fought in a calendar year 4 times. And we know that was the year that he really rose to the highest of heights. So you have to box. I don't know what we're going to see, but at this point, I want to see it.
Just want to see it.
Exactly. That's it. I want to see it. I want to see them rise to the occasion and give us something explosive, which will end up giving us, barring a draw, an undisputed welterweight champion.
Right, which we've been needing for a while.
Yes.
Andre, thank you so much, man.
You're very welcome.
Tell the fans where they can follow you, brother.
I'm on Facebook, Andre Rozier. I'm not heavily into social media, but I am out there. I'm in my gym, Cops and Kids in Brooklyn, New York, and that's where we hone and grow these young men who are exciting the crowds and bringing a new energy level to boxing.
Are you still working with Berlanga?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not working with him anymore.
Like, everything ended okay over there? Or?
No, it was a mess. You know, it was like, I'm okay, you good, and I'm done.
Okay. I just thought about it right now when you said Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, that's right. I
Yeah.
thought about Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Andre. Appreciate
You're very
your time.
welcome.
Thanks.
Anytime.